With that, yeah, we got enough people. Okay, I'd like to call to order the, and welcome, for this committee, so I guess we need a roll call first.
All right, Bender,
Here.
Ermeling,
Here.
Cleaver,
Here.
Manel is not here, and then the other one's vacant.
Okay, so with that, we need an approval of the minutes from the previous meeting of October 18th.
So moved.
Moved by Barb. Second? Second. Second by Cleaver. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Do we have any public comments at this point? Or anybody on the Zoom or anything for this meeting? Nothing, huh? Okay. Then we need the next point of business is the November budget status report.
Approval of minutes. Who did that?
We did that.
Oh my gosh. I did put it in the spot.
Oh, good. So we have the November budget status reports. Jenna listed out all the expenditures that we did. We also paid last year's. At the end of 2020, it was set up as a payable, so we officially expensed it in 2020, but we officially paid the CVB the amounts due from 2020. So we've done that, which you will not see reflected because it was set up as a payable.
Right, right. Any comments? Okay. I need a motion to acknowledge the motion. Motion by Cleaver,
Second.
second by Barb. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have the CVB report that we received from them, I believe.
That would be me, I believe.
That would be you?
All right. For the record, my name is Tim White. I'm the executive director of the Wausau Central Wisconsin Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. We need a shorter name. That's a long name. Anyway, thank you so much for allowing me to report to you. Thank you for the funding that is really so beneficial for us to really help grow the tourism presence in central Wisconsin and for Weston as well. I wanted to tell you a number of things that are happening that are really exciting for all of the area. First off, and if you're subscribed to our email address or email newsletter, you might have gotten this just a little bit ago. We just launched a marketing website that is for anyone that is doing marketing in Marathon County, and it's called marketingwausau.com, and it's basically a place for all people who do marketing for organizations and events to get on board and use a number of tools that we're rolling out. One tool that we're rolling out that rolled out today too is called Sherpa, SHRPA, and you can go to marketingwausau.com to get all the info on it, but it's basically an experience adventure tool. So vendors, organizations, restaurants, event holders can have an account, basically put up pictures and put up the experience of going to an event, or, let's say we want to, put the whitewater, Wausau whitewater right down on the river. The Wausau Whitewater could put their event on. The Taste and Glow Fest that you'll hear about will be able to have an account. So it's a free service, and we will be able to route it right through our website or visit Wausau website. The other thing that we just launched that the board was able to approve was a massive overhaul for the website, visit wasa.com. We signed a really comprehensive agreement with a company called Simple View. And Simple View really is the premier destination marketing organization, content management designers. So a lot of our neighbors use Simple View, like Point and Eau Claire, but so does Las Vegas and so does Chicago. The Dells use it, and it's just Minocqua uses it. It's a great CMS, which is a content management system, and a CRM, which is a customer relations management tool online, that are going to allow us to totally revamp our organization to make it that premier destination marketing organization. The other neat thing about that is that, again, organizations in Marathon County will be able to post their content, information about their organization, about their restaurant, about their event on our website as well. They'll have an account. So we won't have to chase after anybody to, get their information. They'll be responsible for putting it up. And because we have so many high hits and visitor traffic to visit wasa.com, it just makes sense for us to be able to give these tools to our partners in the community. So we're excited about that. We also are working on our new mission and logo, and you'll see more about that. We also have new board members and new board positions. Weston's own Yi is our new interim board president. And so we're very excited about his experience and him being able to lead us. We also added Greg Fisher from Granite Peak, the GM for Granite Peak, and Tim Vandeyat from the Godorsey Group is back on our board. We also changed our bylaws so that we will take a maximum of 18 members for our board. And so we're looking to recruit a number of stakeholders to the board. And so, my focus is for us to continue to make a strong board that is able to continue to push the new mission and guide us for the future so that we're a transparent organization. We also have been posting all the minutes and things that, all the board notes online. We've been sharing our budget, our bylaw changes with the municipalities, whatever they need. If we haven't gotten it to them, we get it to them same day. So we're excited to be transparent, to communicate. And I think that's enough. I am also 3 days into my third month. So I've just been doing this for 2 months. My first day on the job, I was here. I was just excited to start and to see how far we've come. So if you have any questions or any feedback, love to hear it. Well, thank you again, and look forward to continued strong relationship with Weston. We really appreciate it, again, your support. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Are there any other questions regarding the financials that they submitted to us at this time? The report?
I was just going through it and then I realized it was refunded because there was a grant granted and then it was refunded, so.
I guess I'm looking for a motion to acknowledge the receipt of the report.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Cleaver, second by Barb. With no further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Next thing we have is the request for the $10,000 for the Taste and Glow Balloon Festival.
Actually, no, go ahead.
Should we be doing this first, or should we be doing the next one, which should be the
So specifically on that, it technically under current guidelines was approved, so it's kind of a
Right.
horse apiece.
Right.
But there's actually a presentation on the Watsa Hmong Festival. It's not in blue, so it's hard to see on the agenda. It's item 7.
Okay. Okay.
You just want the video, okay?
Oh, no, I'm gonna material along with the mom.
Go right ahead. Thank you.
Hey, can you pause the video for now? Thank you.
We'll go to the exciting part in a bit here, but first and foremost, I just want to say my name is Yi Ling Zhong. As many of you know, I'm a member of the Village Board of Trustees, but I'm here today as the Executive Director of the Hmong American Center and the Chair of the Hmong Wausau Festival. So first and foremost, I want to use this opportunity here to thank Chairman Bender, along with members of the Tourism Committee, President Maloney, Administrator Donner, and members of the staff and members of the Village Board of Trustees. It is truly a pleasure to be able to be here today on behalf of the Hmong American Center, the Hmong clan leaders, and the Hmong community of Central Wisconsin today to express my deep appreciation and gratitude to the Village of Weston for being a sponsor and a continuous supporter of the Hmong Wausau Festival. As many of you know, in 2020, many members of the AAPI community were very concerned about the anti-Asian sentiments that was going around across the country. Next to COVID-19, this was the most significant cause of hesitancy and reluctance from the Hmong community to attend the Hmong Wausau Festival. However, I do want to express my deep appreciation to President Maloney and all along with our local law enforcement staff for being so supportive of the Hmong community. They stepped up to the plate and spoke a warm message of welcoming the Hmong community to Central Wisconsin. This rests assured many of the concerns of the Hmong community. This year's Hmong Wausau Festival is the most successful Hmong celebration in the 45 years history of the Hmong community in Central Wisconsin. I have spoken with several Hmong community leaders, clan leaders, elders, all of whom have validated this claim. In the past, such events such as the Wausau tournaments and New Year had brought on an average of about 2,000 to 3,000 attendees. It is my privilege and honor to announce that we had over 14,000 attendees attend the Hmong Wausau Festival over that 2 days. That's almost the population of the Village of Weston. Let me just put it that way. Several of my board members and volunteers volunteered at the beer tent and was able to verify that we had driver's license from over 11 states. As a matter of fact, this year's winners in the volleyball tournament were from California. We actually had individuals from Canada calling us that if once the restrictions and COVID gets better, they're hoping to join us as well. I need to note that all hotel rooms within an hour of Wausau were booked, and I'm sure Mr. Cleaver could attest to that as well. And how do I know this? I ended up having to call around to look for hotel rooms because there were hotels were double booking, and one of our bands actually ended up getting double booked, and they ended up losing their hotel room. So we had to find an Airbnb for them. So luckily we were able to find an Airbnb. We are sure that we generated well more than $2 million in economic impact, probably closer to over $3 million in economic impact in Central Wisconsin. This means money spent at our local businesses, gas stations, hotels, restaurants, the grocery stores. So this was a lot of money that was spent in our local area here. However, to better understand what this festival looked like, I have a 5-minute clip that I would like to show the board and the community, and then I'll conclude my remarks afterwards. So Nate, if you can do the honor of playing the video, that would be great. Lastly, I just want to once again express my deep appreciation on behalf of the local clan leaders, the Hmong community of Central Wisconsin, the Hmong American Center, my deep appreciation to our partners, the Wausau Convention Visitors Bureau, the United Healthcare, City of Wausau, the Village of Weston, and the many numerous organizations that made this a possibility. And I would now gladly entertain any questions if the board or the Tourism Commission has any questions for me specifically.
I guess my question is just with how big a turnout we had this last year. What was kind of the feedback you got from people coming to the area? You know, is it kind of more of a one-off just because of COVID and everything and, you know, try and get out and everything? Or is it something where we can see like type of?
That's a very good question. What I'm thinking is that definitely the COVID had a lot of obviously impact on it, but the fact that they saw how phenomenal the parks were, the field were, I think it's going to attract more individuals in the future here to be coming as well too. This was really the first actual large like exposure to nationally. Obviously, we had in the past we had other organizations and individuals from other areas that did come to the event here, but this was the first actual time where everybody felt that they needed to come to this event here. So we were the biggest event in the country here for the Hmong Summer Sports Festival. So I definitely think we're going to continue seeing a large turnout in the near future here as well.
We've got one back there.
I just want to tell everybody, if you thought that video was good, you should have been there. Because it was nothing but goosebumps. I been invited many times by Yi, and I wasn't able to make it sometime, but I made it this time. I even spoke on behalf of the Village of Weston. Trustee Ermling was there, Trustee Zagami was there, and I mean, just the smell of the food midway, I gained 5 pounds. I swear to God, I gained 5 pounds. It was unbelievable. And I have never been back there to those parks. And I was so impressed with that in our area. And I know you set a record, right? I mean, in COVID, I mean, what, I think 10,000 was last year and I think it was 14,000 this year?
Yes, 14,000 this
It's
year.
unbelievable, you know, it was just unbelievable. Just finding parking was something. And I'll tell you, what a great problem to have. So it was awesome, and I'll be there every single year. Thank you. Good job.
All right, well, that's all I have.
I thank you, Yi, for your report. Greatly appreciated. Okay, next item on the agenda is number 8, Taste and Glow.
Hi, guys.
You're up.
Yeah. Thank you guys for all, letting us allow to speak with you and take us under consideration. He's being shy. I don't know why.
I'm sorry I'm late, but we're called.
We're Steve and Nancy Waller. We kind of took over the Balloon Fest last year after the second year of Wausau Events canceling the Balloon and Red Fest. And we decided as long as we're taking it over, we may as well make it better. So we eliminated the rib vendors because we wanted to take care of local businesses and nonprofits that were hurt by the event being canceled, plus all the lockdowns. So we did the Taste of Marathon County, which we're going to make that a bigger part of it. We only had 3 months to plan the event, but we were still able to get 60 to 80,000 people there. Turned out it was a great venue. I think we booked 130 rooms at the Fairfield for our pilots and their crew. And we've actually been staying at the Fairfield for the last probably 10 years, if not more. And this year we're expecting to double that room count. We're gonna get as many people as we can at the Fairfield. But then we work with Godorsey Group and they have 4 hotels to take our overflow, whatever that may be. So this year's gonna be a lot different. It's gonna be exciting, but it'll be different. We are adding a pro log rolling competition that they are moving from on Alaska. They did it for 13 years there. And we were able to secure them coming to our event. We have a pond on site, so it's gonna work out perfect for them. We're also paying a production company to create a 1-hour program that's gonna air on Fox Sports. So it'll air in North Dakota, Wisconsin, Northern Illinois, and all of Minnesota, all of Wisconsin. So they're gonna be saying, coming to you from Wausau at the Taste and Glow, you know, the pro log rolling. So we're gonna do a lot to promote the area through that. We will also be having signage that will show up behind the athletes. So when they're photographing or videoing the athletes, you'll see signs for different companies. We also are allowed to have some free commercials. We decided to go one step further with the whole logging industry, and we're having a lumberjack show. That I think will be a nice addition for entertainment. It also helps us, you know, in case the balloons can't fly. They have the bands, they have the lumberjacks, they have so much going on that it would not be as tragic if we were to get weathered out. Cross your fingers that we are not. So we're doing a lot, and we're also working a lot to, most people, if you think about ballooning in Wisconsin, they think of the Wisconsin Dells, because they used to have a big event there, and it was beautiful. We want to be known as the ballooning capital of Wisconsin. So we are going to have 40 balloons this year. Last year we had 30. When we were with Wausau Events, they would limit us to 18 to 20. So it's gonna be even bigger.
I started the event back in 2002. And the first year, the city of Wausau wanted nothing to do with it, so we paid our bills ourselves. After the event got taken off, the next year, Wausau Events and City of Wausau got on board. And we kept growing every year and so forth. I kept telling different things we could do to make it better and better, including the fireworks and everything else. So that's why her and I running the event, it's run much differently.
Yeah.
If you've been on our website, I was always telling the city of Wausau and Wausau Events to, you know, help out the sponsors, help out the people, local people. And they always like, no, we're doing the rivers and whatever. That's different things, so this will never happen again. But we also have, it's actually going to be an international event this year. We have Darth Vader coming from Belgium. We have Yoda coming from Belgium. So it's a lot, just those two balloons coming by themselves are a really big deal.
Yeah, we'll get a lot of media coverage over them, believe it or not. I mean, last year we got coverage in Texas. We got the Madison station, Nebraska. It was translated into Japanese and Italian. I mean, that was us doing nothing to do that. And truthfully, we had 60 to 80,000 people and we spent $500 promoting it. We do a lot of work on Facebook, which has been huge for us. We have a lot of followers, but when we announced the event, we created the page. By 4 o'clock that evening, we had reached 75,000 people. And by the next day, it was over 200,000.
And that morning, we had 2 views. It was her and I had seen the page when I created it.
Yeah.
And 8 hours later, we had 75,000 people.
Yeah. So we work really hard to help our sponsors, and we had over 70 of them last year. So that's 70 people that said, I think this is a good event. We're all tired of COVID. We need something to forget about it. And the event was beautiful. And we're anticipating this year to even be better. We worked with about 20 nonprofits. So we made our fee be either $1 or a food pantry item. So we helped the Food Coalition, is that what? Anyhow, it was for Neighbors Place, Salvation Armory, and Bridge Street Mission. They all staffed it. This year, we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna try and do a better job of channeling the people, because at 4 o'clock, it was a carpet of people. There was no way to collect money, food, and it was madness from 4 to at least 6 or 7 o'clock. It was crazy. But we're gonna do a better job on that, and you know, there's a few things we're gonna change, but we wanna promote the area, even though Steve and I don't live here anymore. He was born here. We lived here for many years. We could have taken it anywhere, but it seems like it belongs in the Wausau area. So I'm working very closely with Jody and Nick, and probably Jody a little bit more with the Visitors Bureau. So we are applying for a GEM grant, which would allow us to spend over $39,000 promoting the area and the event. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna get it just because of my interaction with the state. I'm hoping but we will be applying for that shortly. We also have just signed a contract with the radio station, so they're giving me a bunch of advertising, and the television station also. So we're trying to do our best, not just to promote our event, but promote the area because it's a beautiful area. The other thing Jody and I are working on is Q&R codes. So what these are gonna do for us is, if you've ever been at a restaurant where they say, hold your phone up to that little square doodad, and that'll give you the menu, we're gonna do something like that. But we also want to use that to enhance the taste of Marathon County. So in doing that, we can actually use that Q&R code to go to some of your local restaurants. And we're also thinking about activities in the area. What could we focus on, like the museum, the Woodson Museum or the Yawkey Museum? And there may be some other things to kind of get people to know the area. Because it's not realistic that they're gonna spend 12 hours on our field. So when they're not there, we wanna say, go here, here, or here to give them options in a great way to view the area. The other thing we're expanding on is last year Wassa Events paid for the shuttle from the 400 block. They really don't want anything to do with us any longer, so we're on our own on that. But we want to do the shuttle from the Weston area and just offer it to more people. Because I did get emails from people asking me to look into a shuttle service in Weston specifically. And I had no gas left. You know, we only had 3 months to come up with all the money we needed for the event, do the event, get the balloons, it was a tremendous behemoth that we undertook. Maybe a little more than we planned.
There's a lot of people that don't drive, older folks or younger people, and they wanna come see the event and check out firsthand. For most people, seeing a balloon up close, something else we did, I shouldn't.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Someone didn't tell you about is, we
We
had
did
a
a lot.
Wassa events not allow people to come onto the field. I've been over the country to World X doing balloon rallies, and at major events, people can come right up to the balloon and touch them. Albuquerque is the biggest balloon rally in the world. Year 2000 had 1,000 balloons. People could come right up on the field, or on the field actually, amongst the balloons. It's the coolest thing ever. People love it. So at the new event we did, we let people come out there, and everybody loved it. Because you can come right and talk to the pilots, get cards. Every balloon's got a card. Whoever sponsors it, it's on the back of the card as well. So we're
Right.
trying to put people that way. But it was a great thing. We got thanked so many times just for that portion alone and so
Right.
forth. So by having the people on the field and see the balloons, touch the balloons, watch them take off, watch them, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And since we can't steer a balloon over the windows we go, we actually had balloons that came down this area.
Yeah.
One landed at the airport even.
At
So-
CWA.
Yeah, right. No, it's
See?
that Wassa Airport actually was.
Okay,
No.
anyhow,
So it's a little different than people realize. The reason we wanted out in the countryside, before we had in the city, we were really limited, because we were right stuck in the city. To land a balloon in the city of Wassa was tough. Sometimes with the wind coming on this way, we'd land it down at right in your backyard basically here and stuff. But what happens is that if you go beyond this, you get into Ringo Swamp, we call it. You have 9 Mile Swamp, you have Seaway airspace. Anything past much further this way is, the landfill, it's all wooded and so forth. On the northwest side of Wassa, that's where we typically fly balloons. It's all open fields, everyone knows us. It just works out really nice up there and stuff. So it wasn't about moving the event away from the city, it's more for a safety aspect, it's so much nicer. Now we have so many more people come, we have room to park, 60,000 cars?
we have over 100 acres and they say that you can park 240 cars on an acre. So it's not 60,000, it's like
Wait, he has
25,000.
we have additional land now coming this year.
Yeah, so we are looking at a lot of things because it was easy to get people out. The grounds were cleared in like 15 minutes because we sent them all in different directions. But getting in, it was backed up to 29. That's how busy it was a couple times. So we're working with the Sheriff's Department on improving that. But the key here is that we're doing a lot of things with Jody's help to track where people are coming from, where they're finding out about it, all this stuff. So we're getting a lot smarter. And what that does for us is it's helping us branch out to more areas. And we know a lot of people flew in from Florida, Texas, and God knows where else, a lot of Illinoisans. So we know we have that, and we know every hotel room was booked, and I'm sure there was a big economic impact as far as, you know, gas stations and even restaurants, to be perfectly honest. But even on our field, we had ATMs and we went through just under $500,000. And they ran out at like 3 o'clock on Saturday. And it completely ran out Friday. They had to fill it twice. So, but then the important thing is, all that money stayed local. You know, they were from all over the area. You had Twos in Mosinee, you had the filling station.
All the nonprofits,
Well, and we wrote checks for over $26,000 because we did fundraisers with the tethered balloons. We had the dollar request for admission, and all that money has already been dispersed. So, you know, the Lions Club made over $20,000 just flipping burgers and fries. So, I mean, to take that away for a second year, we just couldn't live with that. Steve and I are not paid to do this event. We do this because we think it's a good thing, good for the community and good for the balloons, good for everyone. We all need a little happiness right now, and it was really much needed last year. Even the fallout after our event, there was a giant love fest on Facebook, on people walking up to us. The trailmates received a lot of love. We had letters. I mean, we sent our thank yous out to the police department and fire department, and they're so busy thanking us for putting it on. But it just goes to show, it takes a lot of people and a lot of organizations to make any event happen or to make it successful. And everyone stepped up. I mean, we worked with the Elks, the fire department, the EMRs, Greenhead. They gave us people to help. You know, they had one lady that had a heat stroke. So one of their people was there. They were just walking the field and took care of her and took care of business. So there's just a tremendous amount of people that work hard to make this event happen for the community. And truthfully, to get that many people when you have O-Day going on, an Iola car show, I mean, we felt really lucky that we had the weather and we had so many people decide we were a priority. So we've been working hard to try and make things happen, and there's lots of ways that we can promote your involvement, whether it's sponsoring a special shaped balloon, or if you want the lumberjack show or the 5K or whatever. I mean, we work really hard for our sponsors. We have links to their website from our website. Some of the TV commercials, I do my major sponsors and we promote them that way. You know, it's kind of up to you. There's a lot of special shaped balloons that I'm looking at. They draw a lot of attention, every one of them. I have a seahorse and it's a big alarm clock. I have a sun, I have a zebra, I have a giraffe. I'm just waiting for someone to say, I'm in. So it's just a process when you're dealing with private people to get that commitment.
With that,
Well, I was just gonna say, I know last year we did not have a contract with CDB, so we really weren't in a
Right.
position to be supporting the event, so. I
Right,
think members of this committee and through the process that's been provided in the current contract have expressed that we're recommending sponsoring this event, and I think, CDB recommended a $10,000 level, so I think our question tonight then for our commission is what do we want that $10,000, do we want that $10,000 to sponsor a specific item here, I guess, and I'm not sure if we completely understood what, the special balloons, which ones are still in play. I think I was told Yoda's off the table. Is that right?
yes.
Oh.
I mean, it's really amazing. The Love Fest still continues. I kid you not. I'm not asking people for money. They're offering me money. So I got a lot of money for Yoda and I got even more than you guys are willing to offer for DART. It's crazy. It's great. Because this is a very, very expensive event to put
costs a
on.
lot of money to put on. People don't realize what.
Well, to get someone from Belgium, I mean, I already have 3 balloons from New Mexico, 1 from Reno, Nevada. I have a Phoenix one. I mean, they're coming from all over. Part of it is, we took very good care of the pilots, and you need to. I'm sure the people of Wausau do not understand how lucky they are. We have friends that balloon friends that did a big event in Green Bay, and they said people came up to them and asked them when the glow was starting. The glow is where we light them up at night. Well, we do the synchronized musical glow, and it's truly special. People are dancing
Other
all
events
over
don't
the
do
field.
that. Even the
Right.
Turkey doesn't do that. They just do the glow,
Right.
1, 2, 3 glow, whatever. We do it to music to really jazz it up. People get really excited.
Yeah.
We have a huge sound system that everyone can hear from miles away,
Yeah.
basically. And
But now I have all these pilots from Mississippi and from Florida. And I don't even know these people, and they're asking if they can come to our event. So we're already reaching out countrywide, and you know, my recommendation to you guys would be is to let this evolve a little more before we commit to what you're getting for your sponsorship. I mean, I know it's a lot to ask, to trust that I'm gonna do right by you, but I will. I do right by all of my sponsors. But, because there's a lot of options. I mean, there are. I mean, the Lumberjack Show is very interesting, because we've never had it. And they're doing not just a lumberjack show, but they're doing a lumberjack camp, which I think is cool. So they have all their safety gear, and they're gonna let people try log rolling, and then they're gonna get to try, you know, the 2-man saw thing. I mean, it looks like fun to me. We're also doing the 5K, and at the end of the 5K, we're doing a log rolling fun thing too, after their run. So I mean, we're trying to make this experience very family, and it was last year. It was generations of families. It was grandma, grandchildren, and their children. It was just the most beautiful thing to watch, honestly. So, but as far as special shapes, you know, if you think you want a special shape, I have to get the contract signed with the pilot. But there are some beauties out there. I could provide you with a list. I can tell you when I have a contract. They're all pretty expensive because they're traveling from a ways away. You know, they all vary in price, but I am working, I believe I'm getting the bee and the butterfly. But I really want the zebra because he's pretty adorable. So there is a seahorse wants to come. I mean, there's lots of options. You know, you could sponsor a glow, the glow for both nights.
Any thoughts, Barb, or?
Well, I guess my question is, you know, what does our 10,000 grant buy?
Okay, well, you know, we do a lot on our website. So on our website, we already have a link to the Visitor Bureau site for hotels. So I don't know that you would want to change that.
No.
We do a link to your city. If you have things that you want to focus on, we can do the Q&R code. We can do it on our Facebook, or on Facebook as well as our website. We focus on different things, all pretty much weekly, starting after the first of the year. We try not to inundate people so much that they stop following us because you're putting too much information out there. So there's a lot of things we can do. We're also, Jody and I are working on the shuttle, and, you know, there's all sorts of stuff. We printed out 450 posters last year.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to like say, I'm just gonna use the balloon glow. What does that, you know, what's the cost of a balloon glow? I guess
Well,
last year, the city of Wausau sponsored that, so, they paid 10,000 basically for the balloon glow and so forth. Anyhow, so basically the balloon glow, we do it, it's announced during the event, who's sponsoring this, because it's a big deal. That's when most people come out, is for the
well,
glow.
that's what I, you know,
Yeah.
and with the music, I think it'd be pretty neat.
Right.
it is just, if you're grouchy at that moment, you have serious issues. Because I'm not kidding, people are doing the Virginia reel, you know, they're all swinging around, having a good time to the Cotton Eye Joe.
Was that something that's still out there or no?
Yeah, that one is still available. So basically with the glow, Dave Calloway is making announcements all night. I mean, we have him come at like 3 in the afternoon.
Right.
Around 3 in the afternoon, and then he goes to the bitter end. So he's announcing all night, but we also put the sponsor in our commercials. So like we're working with Channel 7 right now on the GEM grant, but they are also a sponsor of the event. So they do some digital work for us. They're doing all sorts of stuff. I mean, it's way beyond me because I am not a digital expert. But, so basically, they're gonna do the ad and you can view it digitally or on the TV. That I do the logos for my big sponsors. So last year, the city of Wausau did have their logo along with Covantage and Tundraland. So we put your logo right in the commercial so they can see that. It's also on our website. So if they go to our schedule page, they're gonna see not just our schedule, but your logo in there also. And the nice thing is it kind of breaks it up when you look at it on your iPhone. So it may say Saturday 10 to whatever, and then your logo shows up. So I mean, it's not, they have to scroll through your logo to see the entire schedule.
I guess just when I was looking through the paperwork and that, the one that jumped out at me was the Blue and Gold. I don't know why, but I mean.
That is when it's most attended.
Oh my gosh, yes. People start coming at 4 and then it literally is a carpet of people till like 7. And then the glow starts. They all want to get their position.
We do a flight first.
Yeah.
The balloons take off and they come back. Some will stay on the field the whole time because the shapes are unable to fly and come back the same night.
Mhm.
So they stay on the field. They won't be flying at all. They only fly in the mornings. So just like the round balloons or teardrop balloons will fly off the field.
Right.
Then they come back and then hopefully make it back in time.
Mhm.
So,
There's lots of things we can do. And you know, the funny thing is, I'll be sitting there just spacing out and I'll think, oh, we should do that. And then we just add it. It's not something that, I'm always thinking how to promote all of my sponsors. But the Q&R codes could be really nice for you guys too. And that's something that, even if we can say you're the sponsor, but we can be focusing on the businesses in Weston. So we want to make sure that we're promoting, not just saying the Village of Weston sponsored. We want to help the Village of Weston businesses, whether it's a hotel and restaurant, whatever the case may be. This will be a fair amount of work for us. It's not something we have to add, it's something we want to add. So we want to make sure that we are earning your $10,000. How's that?
Well, I mean, you had just asked, what did you think? And that was,
Yeah.
like I said.
That's not a bad one.
My first glance was.
Yeah.
I like the Blue and Gold.
Yeah. And we do banners on the field too. So you would have a large banner just specific for the glow.
That was, you asked, that was just my thought.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a bad one at all because it is so well attended.
And I guess probably the next question, or one of the questions that I have for Keith as well as the staff, is that they're gonna have to have some contact, somebody that they can contact here, I guess, to work with you guys, more or less. Am I right, or would?
That would be great. Because I would want recommendations, especially in reference to the Q&R codes. It's not that I'm not familiar with Weston, but, restaurants come and go, I think we have your hotels covered by having the link to the Visitors Bureau, for sure. If they click on our link for hotels, it goes right to their site, so. But as far as, Jody and I have been working on the shuttle also. And I would certainly want recommendations. I mean, we're talking about going to the hotels, but maybe you guys would rather have a different location.
I mean, ideally, if we could use your parking lot as a shuttle spot right here, or people could park their cars here or walk here.
There's just a lot that's still evolving and, it's not early, but we have a lot more time than we did last year for sure. So we want to take care of you. We want to make sure that any penny you give us is spent wisely. And truthfully, last year I raised a lot of money, but every penny went to the event.
Okay, that was gonna be my.
There won't be any leftover money, I guarantee
If you
it.
had leftover, what do you keep it for next year? Do you give it donation to?
There wasn't enough, first, the trail mates had to give money to help pay for the event as well.
Okay,
So we actually,
It wasn't a lot of money, but it was the first year we had no idea that porta pots are gonna be $10,000. I mean, oh my gosh.
garbage
that's a lot of
service, $10,000.
Well, that was a
Generators will be
but-
$15,000.
Well, no, I mean, My goal is to have a little money left over because it's exhausting to start out with zero all over again, and that's what we did. Because it's a lot of pressure, you know, when you're having 40 balloons and they all need hotel rooms and they all need food and whatever, propane, it's a lot of pressure on us. And our fail-safe has always been what I promised the trailmates last year is if I don't raise enough money, I would let them charge for the event. So thankfully, the businesses were so supportive. I mean, no, people didn't hang up on me. They wanted this event. They desperately wanted this event. So anyhow, I don't think there will be money left over. If there is, it would be very, very little, even because bringing Darth in is very expensive and, you know, we want to make sure it's a good event. I mean, the log rollers are going to cost me over $20,000 because of the production costs. It's all expensive. It's not free. So, but it's going to make a great experience for everyone. It's going to be a wonderful family event again.
Okay. Thank you for your
Well, thank you.
presentation. And I guess it's next up to us as to what we would prefer to
Right.
have the sponsorship for. And Barb had mentioned the glow, so is there any other thoughts? John?
No, I think for the goal,
I just, Bob,
Yes.
just 1 second. Sometimes I get the most traction on a donation is unrestricted. Cause it sounds like there's gonna be a lot of restrictions, you know, it's where everybody wants their money.
Right,
And a lot of times when we donate, we'll donate to unrestricted because you'll have things that nobody's gonna take care of. So you gotta figure out where you're gonna get the money. And I know it doesn't, it doesn't lock in a spot. But I mean, it's the whole event. I mean, Yi just left here, but when we gave the money to Yi, you know, we didn't ask for the soccer or the food, you know, or the dancing or the Mr. or Mrs., you know, the pageant. We just said unrestricted, wherever you need it.
Mhm.
And you know where we ended up? Front page. We were not the highest, but we were front page right next to the city of Wausau, you know, right next to the biggest ones. I couldn't believe it.
Mhm.
And, I thanked them for it, but holy mackerel. So I don't know, sometimes unrestricted, where they need it is the best, so. Just a thought.
With that in mind, the issue that I guess I would look at, that you're talking about is if we are a general sponsor, and then you probably would be it would be easier for you guys to sell other sponsors for some of those specific things rather than the Village of Weston as such. My recommendation would be, if it would be just a general sponsor and therefore be listed in that way, you can do more salesmanship for some of these that a lot of other sponsors may be more in tune to sponsor, I guess is what it wants to.
Well, the other category we could do is we have an event sponsor, which is Covantage Credit Union. And they were wonderful last year. I gave them 2 minutes to decide, but we could do like a presenting sponsor too.
Oh, that's good.
Well, it's whatever you want it to be. The nice thing about being a presenting sponsor is, well, there's lots of advantages. I mean,
We already talked about presenting sponsor for the balloon glows. It's already part of it right there, actually.
right, so you're the entire event.
Right.
So it's like you're saying, or like he was saying, your logo would be right next to Covantage.
Right.
I mean, because of your investment, but basically it'd be a part of everything. So,
Okay. With that, thank you.
well, thank you.
Motion to do general, second by Barb. Without any further discussion, all those, yeah,
Another question. So I guess I asked the question, I think in some of the emails. Is this something we want to tie to the Village of Weston or the Village of Weston Tourism Commission? I guess just we're separating kind of, okay, this is to prevent perception, this is coming from the Village of Weston, general tax collection.
that would be the issue, I guess, at that point, yeah. Probably would want to be village.
The tourism
Yeah,
commission, that way you
commission,
can
yeah.
say that's a whole different,
That's a great idea.
that's a whole different,
So that we don't have
The assumption is taxable.
Yep.
Right,
Property
right,
taxpayers.
right, exactly, so,
And do you have a separate logo for that?
No.
no,
You just put tourism underneath it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Village of Weston Tourism.
That'll get us out.
so,
And that sounds better,
Yep.
honestly, as far as an event.
Yeah.
so,
That the tourism is bringing it to
Yep.
the greater Wausau area.
so Mark.
Because I have people sometimes that say, well, what do you do with that room tax? You know, just
Right.
take the
We're
money
gonna
from.
fill your rooms.
You know, So.
Yeah.
So,
That would do it.
okay,
Thanks for reminding me. I was gonna mention
Yep.
that, Keith, and I forgot all about it.
okay, make that,
Well, remind
I didn't
me,
respond.
get your logo.
Usually I respond to you on email. but-
Yeah.
so make that adjustment accordingly, with the motion. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
I-
Those opposed, motion carries.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
So, and did we have- How we want this handled.
On the approval process? On the approval, in the,
Approval process, yeah,
Process.
that was down.
So on this next item, I guess,
yeah,
having gone through the contract negotiation and, you know, the structuring this new agreement with CDB, the way this particular request was handled was pretty much like we had set it up to be done. And what it specifies is that as these requests come up, CDB reviews them, makes a recommendation whether or not it's worthy to be funded. And then this commission then simply kind of comes and rubber stamps it, I guess. If, assuming that it has gone to, according to the contract, myself, the Tourism Commission President, or Village President, Mark Maloney in this case. So I guess having kind of gone through this in real life, if you will, is that really, I'm just questioning if that's really the way we want this to go, and if that's what we want to do, that's fine. I don't know how time sensitive a lot of these things are all the time. I mean, maybe that's a question for
Tim. Yeah,
whether or not we want to convene this commission and, you know, if there is time to handle them that way, rather than have an individual, one of three, make that approval, or, you know, again, we've had a chance to kind of put it in practice, and I just want to make sure this is the way we want it to work.
Well, I got a kind of a floating thought, if you would. I guess I would like the commission to have some idea what's going on or what you're talking about. I understand sometimes there's time restraints. And although I really liked your comments because it brought some thoughts to myself, but I guess if we could get an email out to the Tourism Commission about what you're talking about, but specifying, if you reply, do not reply to all. Reply to the person that is emailing you.
We can fix it with BCC.
Yeah. You know, because I don't want, I mean, like I said, I liked hearing what you had to say, and I liked your questions. I don't know if there is a way to say if someone has a point they would like to make, if you can, without saying who, this was, you know, there was some questions or issues. But to make sure it gets back to just,
sure.
you know, that I'm not seeing your answer, we're not commenting back and forth. And I don't have a problem, I guess if it's possible, I would like to, yourself and if possible, the Tourism Commission Chair that would be in on it, and then the President if so be. But I would kind of like the Tourism Committee to have a little bit of a say before, you know.
Well, we can handle that internally, I think.
Right.
You know, but I just hope that we can do it, so we're not having a walking quorum or a whatever you wanna call it, you know.
Well, yeah, and I don't know how sensitive we have to be on the open meeting thing with this particular commission, but, you know, if it does come into question as to how we make a decision or something.
You know, like I said, I did like the conversation that I
Right.
got, but I was questioning if we should be, you know, replying to all. You would
Just a thought as we're talking about it. If, I guess Keith kind of alluded to it in his memos and whatnot, but if something is a non-urgent request, like, can we decide either if we need to hold a special meeting the next month, if it's urgent, you know, hold a special meeting, let's get it figured out. If it's out like 4 or 5 months, can we just say, okay, we're gonna pull that, you know, with this.
Within that quarterly meeting type of
Right,
thing, or?
right.
Yeah, which we already have those, like, just plan on proceeding with special meeting if it's urgent. If it's
Right.
not urgent, we can just, you know, say, okay, this will be decided on here. We can let everybody know that there's a request.
The other part of that would be dollar amount at that point. Tim?
Yeah, and I was gonna say, we'll probably 99 and 9/10 of the time, we'll never bring anything urgent to you. We'll always be planning ahead, way down the road, so. You know, that's our goal at the CVB is to not go, oh, we gotta do this. That's a lack of foresight, lack of planning. That's not the way we operate, so.
Well, and to me, that would make sense because then you could bring it to the tourism committee, and if we had questions or concerns, then we could talk about it, we could all hear about it.
Absolutely.
And then we can, you know, go forward and, because I mean, otherwise, I guess to be honest with you, I really don't know the purpose of the tourism committee.
Yeah, right, so.
Yeah, Barb, one of the things that we value is planning ahead, and so the CVB is not going to come around any kind of event that wants to do something last second. We'll say, you'll be on your own, you know. We want to come around events and really good things that, you know, draw in people from the outside, but are also well thought out, well planned out, have a track record if they've done it before, you know, and it's driven by some hard data too, so. And, you know, and if somebody just has an idea and, you know, does not have a plan, we'll tell them to go back to the drawing board and, yeah, that's just a value.
Well, I would, like I said, I would appreciate it if the tour, you know, we could,
Absolutely.
you know, talk about it and then, you know, but that's my thought. I mean, otherwise, like I said, if we're just going to be, I don't know.
Total rubber stamp, it's kind of.
Yeah, I don't see much point in having the tourism.
Right. So is there any real need to change anything at this point? I guess that's the question.
I think it's just a matter of our internal handling of it.
Right.
And if there is something that's very time sensitive, I guess we have the guidelines of the contract. to
Right.
follow right now,
Right.
so.
Another suggestion I had was to maybe get more people in the community that are into the tourism industry. We have John, he's thinking tourism, a lot of the finance representatives on this community are financial
Right.
thinkers, and
So
I
maybe
think that's
either
something that we need to really look for.
look at the commission itself and say, maybe we need to be looking at other members of the community on the commission itself, so.
Yeah,
We
when,
got a vacancy right now.
Right,
what-
right.
You know, that would be the mark.
Finance? You're saying?
No, on the
On tourism.
tourism.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Does that have to get filled with the next finance? Because Dave Gemwell just said yes to finance just now tonight. But we don't have to put him on tourism, we could actually reach out. to
Actually,
someone.
No, we
it's
could-
not, the whole board is not.
Right,
Right,
okay, perfect,
right.
perfect. Okay.
I'm not sure why finance is automatically on the
Yeah,
tourism.
All of them aren't.
yeah,
No, there's only like,
Thing
Yeah.
initially, because of the
Right.
meeting timing.
right. I guess that was it more than anything.
Yeah.
It's out of convenience.
I think
Right.
so.
But, yeah, definitely would be better off if we had somebody that would be more oriented towards tourism on the board at that point, so. Something to
that Mark can think about.
mark and think about and so on, so. Okay, so,
Maybe even has some ideas too.
right,
So, being that you work with people in the area.
Okay.
so with that, is general consensus that no change on the discussion, that there isn't any change? Am I correct?
We're not recommending any change in the contract.
Right.
The CDP agreement, but that we do want to bring requests here.
Or maybe as an abstract type
Or any
thing.
recommendations made to CDP.
So, okay, and with that, the next order of business, our next meeting, which is actually scheduled on a quarterly basis, am I correct?
Yeah, I put TBD just in case.
Yeah.
Depending what we're thinking, but yeah, I think January is the next regular meeting, so we would have one next month.
Right. So, okay. Any other topics that we want to discuss in the future? Not at this point. Any remarks from the staff or any commission members?
No, I just want to say, both events that, came and spoke today on Hmong Festival and, Taste and Glow, when it comes to the tourism side of things, both of them, especially last year with all the restrictions, really helped bounce back the tourism side of things. So I'm very excited what they can do. You guys have a full year now to plan, your event. And with how, and I'll admit, Hmong Fest was crazy, in the area. I was calling hotels in Point and Rhineland trying to find people rooms until midnight. So I know, he's not here, but, thank you guys for everything. And, yeah, I'm excited for this next year of some amazing events in the area. Hopefully it can keep growing.
Okay,
That's a good problem.
that's a good problem, right? We need more problems like that. So, okay, with that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So,
Motion by Barb,
Second.
second by John. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned. I guess next one.